Good evening, everybody in Facebook land. Hope you're all well tonight. And it's Thursday, it's 8 o'clock. So what's happening? You've got it right. We're going to do another live. I'm going to introduce this lady in just a second. But I want to know who is watching. Who is watching us tonight and where are you from? I always feel like Cilla Black when I'm saying about it. What's your name? Where are you from? But if you are watching from a place that's not Plymouth, just let us know. Just put where you are from, where you're watching in from. We have a lot of Essexes. I've noticed that recently. We have a lot of people from Essex, which is great. London we've had. I don't think we've had any further than Scotland. I think that's been the furthest place away from Plymouth. Where are you from, Claire?
I'm from a town called Widnes, which is right in between Liverpool and Manchester. I'm like on the border of Liverpool. Like I turn my corner and we're in Liverpool. It's what? Posh? No. we are in Cheshire. We are in Cheshire, but we're not posh. We're far from it.
Football players land. If you're also watching this on replay, just put a little hashtag replay just so that we know, and we'll try and interact with you as much as we can. Feel free to share this in your groups as well, because this is going to be something that if you are a current salon owner, worker, or you work in the beauty industry, trust me, you're going to really want to get into this, because Claire, who I'm just about to introduce, has got so many years of experience about balancing that exact profession with the network marketing stuff, which she now is known as one of the top leaders in Oriflame and hugely respected by everybody. But I just want to go back to my very first experience of meeting Claire before I introduce her. Now, when you see a top leader in network marketing, you think of like these people, yes, they're earning amazing wages and then probably super sensible and they're really, like business oriented. Now, I'm going to say the first time I properly met Claire, she was on top of a table on the Oriflame show, whipping cloths around like this, whoop, 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 giving it beans. And I was like, that's the kind of company I want to be involved in. And I wasn't actually part of it at the time. And it was little things like that. When I saw you and Craig and you on the table giving it beans, I went, that's the kind of company that gets me excited. Leave me no further choice other to introduce the amazing Clare Kinsella. Claire, thank you so much for joining us tonight on this live, and I'm really going to be excited about finding out a little bit more about you. But I want you to take me back, because I know you've got a really good story and we've talked about this before. Take me back and let me know, or let the audience know, a little bit of something about network marketing they may not know about you.
Okay, so a little bit they probably wouldn't know about me is some do, but I was very skeptical, and I was, as we should say, the unsupportive partner. So very often, and I see this all the time. So I have people that, it's usually the men, to be fair. It's not that very often the women, but usually it's the men. I have so many people that are in my team and their partners just don't get it. They don't see what we see. They don't understand the power of network marketing. They don't get the community. They're on the back about, they've been on the phones all the time, doing all the work, all of this. And it can be a slog. And unfortunately, I've seen people leave the business because of it as well, because they've never had that support. And I was that partner. And when I think about it now, I think, God, I really was unsupportive. And it was my husband, Chris, that got us into network marketing. And a little bit about him. For as long as I've known him, he's always been looking for that thing, looking for the extra something, always wanting to better ourselves, always wanting a way of making money, even to the point I'll never forget. I don't even know how he wrote me into this one, but we had to get all these pieces of paper and send them out to about 1,000 people, and everyone would send you money and all this stuff. Didn't work. He's done anything you can think of. He has done, tried and tested. When I think about that, as in the library, printing this stuff up and sending these letters out, and everyone was going to send you money back. It's crazy. So when he come up with this, I laughed it off, because it was one of them. Honestly, we were going to do lottery things where everyone was going to be in this ginormous pool and we were all going to win the lottery. Honestly, when I think about the things that he's done, but he's always been looking for something, right? And he came across the company we were previously with from a book. So we read a book called Rags to Riches, and it was from this guy called Peter Rhea, a great book. And he talked about how he changed his life in network marketing. So Chris joined that company and he tried to get me involved. And I did not want to know. I wasn't interested. I just said, I haven't got time. I haven't got time for any of this. So at the time, I owned 2 hair and beauty salons at that point. So I had 2 beauty salons, 3 children, and my youngest was only 2. So I kind of had my hands full. I didn't want to do anything else. Yeah, I was like, I don't want to add any extra time on. And he said, at the time we were going on holiday to Florida, and he said to me, I'll get us our spending money for Florida with this. So you just crack on, and I'll do my thing. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So I just left him to it. And in the company we were with, Clean Easy, you did catalogs. That's how you started out, all catalogs through door to door, and then you got other people to join you. And I binned all his catalogs, hundreds of the catalogs, because they were stressing me out all around my house. I chucked away customers' deliveries. I whinged about everything. I did not see the bigger picture. And it was a shame because he kept going on about it to me and I wasn't listening. I completely switched off. And it was only when he played the "you're not supporting me" card that I thought, I'm gonna have to just come along, because he was trying to get me to go to meetings. So we'd been to events, so like the event you were talking about, the conferences we'd been to. He'd been to these events. He'd been to business opportunity meetings. He'd gone to team trainings. He'd been doing it for months, and I just didn't want to know. So I went along to an opportunity meeting. For me, this is what won me over. I mean, it wasn't. When we went in the room, the people at the front of the room was talking about the opportunity, and I'm still switching off, and I'm still thinking, I haven't got time. I haven't got time to go and put catalogs out. I'm not doing this. And there was a couple that we were sat next to, and they were a bit scruffy, right? That sounds terrible, but they were a bit rough looking. The room was full of really, posh business people. The people at the front were really posh. Everyone's all the people that had introduced us, our sponsors, Andy and Helen. They were really dressed really well, and they looked like business people. And I'm just thinking, well, if they're successful, it's because that's the type of people they are. They're just successful people, and it's just that. And this rough couple was sat next to us, and I thought that they'd been brought along to the meeting like us.
Oh yeah.
And the lady at the front started asking people to put the hand up if they'd earned like £1,000 in the month with this company. And people were putting their hands up. She was like £2,000, £3,000. And she got to £8,000. And this scruffy, rough couple that was sat next to me had their arms up like this. So I'm looking at them and I'm like, they're earning £8,000 a month doing this. I've got 2 salons. I do not earn £8,000 a month. I'm joining. If they can do it, I can do it.
Is that right?
Honestly, and that's what. So they got me in because, and I don't know whether it was because I literally just looked at it and thought, if they can do it, I can do it, because they looked so rough. I don't know what it was, but I think if there had been a posh couple sat next to me, I probably wouldn't have had the same impact. But because I was looking at this couple thinking, oh my God, I can do this as well. And that was it. I was in. I was hooked. But then a little bit about me again, and a lot of people never believe this about me, but I did not want to show up on social media, like, at all. This was not for me. I didn't want anybody. If I was going to do this business, no one was going to know. Which, how are you going to do that? Network marketing, and no one's going to know. But that was what I had in my head.
Yeah.
So I got me catalogs. I drove to another town, not my town, and I went out at 5 o'clock in the morning in the dark and put catalogs out, and went and collected them at 9 o'clock at night when it was dark, because I didn't want anyone to see me doing that. And on my social media, I made up a false Facebook account, and I was called Michelle Sales. And I posted from Michelle Sales page selling products.
Oh,
Honest to God. And when I think back now, and I think, how did I even move forward? I was like, you'd never have set me for success in this industry at all. So it just shows, if I can do it, anyone can do it.
wow, Claire. I mean, that is crazy. That, like, honestly, do you know what is what I love about this story is, one, Chris had to graft so hard to get you to that meeting, and all the years of years of him trying to beg you, and you chinned it off. And then the one thing that's turned it round is you saw somebody, looking scruffy, as you said, and all of a sudden went, well, if they can do it, I can. And the fact that you've gone out with an incognito name, honestly, I think that's hilarious. But wow, what a start. Like, that is crazy. I never knew that.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, I think we can't judge anyone. We don't know.
No.
Like, I wasn't looking. The amount of people that say to me, what was you looking for when you joined? I wasn't looking for anything. Like, this industry found me and made me join.
Wow.
I wasn't looking for it.
So obviously you said a really important part as well. And I think a lot of people, if you're watching this and you're not within network marketing, you're wondering, what is that? Time is a precious thing, right? Especially when you've got kids, family, dog, you're running successful salons. what did you have to do to be able to manage that as well? I know you said, you mentioned it, you know, quickly about 5 o'clock in the morning. Was there anything else that you did to be able to fit that in?
I literally worked the pockets of times that I had available, and it was mornings and evenings. So when I first started, I obviously started with my catalogues doing that. So it was like early in the morning, late at night, picking my catalogues up, trying to get these customers in. But that wasn't what I was about. It wasn't about the retail for me. I just wanted to I'd got in my head, because when I joined, it was 2013, social media was around, but no one was really doing network marketing on it. So it was all
Yeah.
offline. So I had to prove that I could go and create a customer base with these catalogues. And then once I'd done that, I felt like I'd feel confident in teaching it on. But that wasn't what I wanted to be. I knew it was the team building. I wanted to get involved in it.
Okay.
So we used to do things like telephone presentations or go around people's houses and do presentations. I'd get the laptop and I'd share what we were doing, all of that proper old fashioned way. But I had to find the leads. And I just worked I would get up really early. So like some days you'd find me up at 4 o'clock in the morning even, and I'd go on job sites and I'd sit and I'd post advert after advert in every time. I mean, I think the job centre, the job centre, you're not allowed to do this now, but then I was allowed to go on the job centre. I reckon I must have had about 700 adverts on the job centre. Like, no lie. I would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and just find a town. And I had this little thing in my head. So I had all these little systems where I'd search train stations. So I'd search train stations and then I'd find the towns for them train stations and find a job centre and I'd post adverts, or I'd go on things like Craigslist and anything that I could do to get leads and that people would click on so that I could do a telephone presentation. And when I think about how I used to do, I don't know how I did it, but I'd do that. So very early, I'd do all morning, then I'd go to work. I'd go to work all day. I'd talk to clients, obviously. But then it would have been easier for me then with Oriflame because it was a beauty product, but obviously it was Clean Easy. It wasn't a beauty product. So I used to take some things, and like I remember one of the first things that I openly sold on social media was a cutlery set, and I look like Del Boy, right? It was one of them old-fashioned ones in a briefcase.
Yeah, you're the bloke. You're the person that went down the pub opening up. Do you want some knives?
Yes, that was it. It was like a briefcase. In fact, I'm gonna have to find it, but I've got a picture of it somewhere because it was my first ever public out there. I'm going to share my actual stuff, and it was a briefcase that you'd opened up that you'd had for Christmas dinner with all the fancy cutlery in. And I took one of them into the salon and set it up in the salon. And sold loads. Everyone was buying them. People were when I put it on my Facebook, people were ringing up the shop. Can I get a cutlery set from the shop? All of this. So that's when I started, like, bit by bit, getting it out there, using the customers. But I stopped watching television. So and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you have to. And I think these days it's a lot easier because we've got so many ways of, I can be watching a bit of telly and be on my phone working my business. It's not the same. But then it was very much face-to-face or telephone appointments. It took time. So I would get up early, do all the prep to get the leads, and then I'd come home from work and I'd be sat in my conservatory on the phone doing telephone presentations all night long, going out to houses, doing presentations, stopped watching the telly, worked and worked and worked and worked. I really did graft hard for it. And it didn't come easy to me either. And I didn't have quick success. So it took I'm going to say it took me about 2 years to actually get to, like, say, the level of director as in Oriflame. And it was 2 years of constant graft. I was really, really struggling. But it was a case of when I really made the decision that I was making it happen, that it did. And for me, I stopped comparing myself and I stopped looking what everybody else was doing, because I was constantly thinking that there must have been a big secret and that there's a way that people were doing it that I didn't know about. So I was going out my way trying to figure it out and trying to find, and it distracted me. Whereas instead of just getting my head down and keeping going, it took me a bit more time to get there, but I got there in the end.
Absolutely smashed it. And do you know what, as well, you mentioned there something really important. You said it took you 2 years to get to the level of sort of director in Oriflame, but that's 2 years of, I imagine you've had so many failures in that time where you could have given up at any time, Claire, couldn't you?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I was saying this to one of the girls the other day. there's nothing like special about what I've done or anything like that. I've just kept going even when it's been tough, and I have had tough times. So like obviously when I said I got to that level of like the level of like director, that was when I was in Clean Easy, and then when we were there we had great success, and then unfortunately the company, it just went into administration, and it was heartbreaking. And we were at our peak in that company. You know, we were loving it. I would never have left. And to start again, a lot of people would said, "Oh, it's okay for you because you just brought a team over." It was actually the hardest thing that I've ever done. And the team that we brought over are no longer the team we've got now. I reckon we've got about 2 people that we brought over with us from that previous company. So we had to start again. And we've had our ups and our downs, and you know, the aftermath of COVID, we definitely saw such a real decline in our business after COVID. But you know, in that decline, I think I learned the most. And I learned the most skills about being resilient, about how to pick myself back up. And now we have turned that back around, and we're bigger than we were before COVID. So for me, it's like understanding that you do go through these ups and downs. It's not perfect, but it's such a better way. Like I can't even imagine having to go to a 9 to 5 job anymore, or I am so unemployable. There's just no way. There's no way back. And I think if you burn the bridges and give it your all, and there is no way back, then it makes all the difference as well.
Yeah, it's lovely to hear, you know, because it isn't easy, and that's the thing. I was talking to a couple yesterday, and they've just joined myself and Santa, and I said, look, this isn't easy. It is simple. It's simple to do, but it isn't easy. And one thing I always remember, somebody, a mentor of mine said, in this industry, if you want to win, you have to fail faster.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And then pick yourself up.
And it's a strange concept, isn't it, to fail faster? Like, why would somebody want to go into failure? So like in like your industry, it's a beauty industry, like salon beauty industry. If somebody's watching this, why would they want to do something like? What's the benefit of, like, you know, joining something like Oriflame, which is predominantly beauty, hair, and makeup, and you know, skincare, which is great. But why would somebody in this salon industry need a second income? Because I don't know the industry. What would be the reasons?
I just think everyone needs a second income, full stop, regardless of what industry they're in. I think nowadays people need it. People need that extra money. They want to live a nicer life. They want to go on holidays. They want to go on nights out. They want to do those extra things. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, the job just isn't paying that what it needs to. So I think everyone needs it. But I think for me, why the beauty industry, why it works so well is because they're the type of people that want to buy from us. They're the type of people that want to work with us. So attracting people that are interested in hair, skincare, makeup, you know, the collagen, all the beauty things that we do, it's a no-brainer. I mean, for example, my daughter is a makeup artist as well, and she does nails and things like that. And having the catalogs in the salon helps her get sales. Or you know, she does someone's makeup, and then she uses our lipstick. Like we've got these matte lipsticks that are just so nice on, last all day, and everyone she puts it on, they go, "Oh my god, that lipstick's gorgeous!" And she goes, "Do you want one the £8?" Or so she'll sell that way. So it's a really good add-on. Fragrances. The fragrances work really well with your clients. So just by you wearing them, and the customers saying to you, "Oh, you smell nice," that makes a difference. I use our hair products when I'm doing customers' hair. So naturally, I'll use the hair products, put it down, and they'll all say, "Oh my God, what's that? I'll have one of them." Or if you're into beauty, the skincare, using our skincare products, using our collagen products, it ties it in. It's a no-brainer add-on, especially because you don't need to stock the stuff. Like I'll have what I'm going to use, so I'll have like the CC spray and the bond repair and things like that in my kit that I'm going to use on someone's hair. But I don't have stock to sell them there and then. They just click on I'll just give them my link. So I'll have a QR code so they can buy, or some customers I will order in for them if I'm dropping it off or whatever. But you can just like skincare, for example, we've got our scanner. So if you're a beautician that talks about skincare, all you do is you get them to scan the face on that, and that will recommend what skincare they need, take them straight through to your shop, get them to click and buy that skincare set. The same with the hair care, the same with the wellness and the makeup and stuff like that. So it's a really, really good add-on, I believe, to anyone that's in the beauty industry without taking up any more salon hours, without putting any more work on you. You're already speaking to the people that buy this stuff. So for me, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it seems like it is a very, very natural way of doing it, isn't it? It's like, you know, like if some, for example, like somebody was using something you like the look of, you say, oh, where did you get that from? In it, you know, in anything that you were buying, you naturally curious about that, and then maybe go and buy it yourself, wouldn't you? So it's a really good way. And actually, you know, that's a real natural, you know, friendly recommendation way of doing it. And yes, is there a sales part of it? I guess so, in terms of like the fact that you've placed it in the right place. There was an intention there. Whether that person buys or not, I guess is up to them, isn't it? But the door and the opportunity, the business is always open when you're showing those products.
Absolutely, and you don't have to be a pushy seller, because I am not. In fact, I hate it. I am that person. I feel sorry for them. You know, I'm that person that someone sees me in the street and they want to try and sell me something. I pick up my phone, pretend I'm on the phone, so that I don't have to speak to someone. And I've worked in salons that have been pushy as well in the past years ago, where they've like, you have to sell X amount of hair products, otherwise you can't keep your job. And I've been places like that, and I've been like, I can't stay, because I can't. I am not making my customers buy. But when I've been in relaxed places and they've said to me, just use it and put it down in front of them, 9 out of 10 customers will just pick it up and look at it and ask you what it is. What have you just put on my hair? And then you tell them, and then they ask how much it is, and then they buy. And it's as simple as that. Wow. And it is the same with our Oriflame stuff. If you're using it on them, so if you're in that profession, people are just curious. And our stuff is, the price point is really good. We're not expensive, but it's good quality.
Yeah. So I was going to say about quality. Obviously, you're a professional, you know, in hair and stuff like that. Clearly, I'm not. But you're a professional in the salons. You've got a daughter who's a professional in makeup. What do you think about, you know, because a lot of people were not, and I've heard this before from customers of ours, they're a bit hesitant to buy things from a catalogue like this, because they're like, is it any good though? Is it a bit like knockoff? Is that why it's so cheap? What do you think about the quality compared to like some of the bigger names like Olaplex and, you know, all these things? How do you view that?
So we've got a wide range of products, and we've got like some that are much better than others, right? Even though the ones at the lower range are still good quality, there are things that I probably wouldn't recommend, if I'm going to be honest, as a professional, that is. Yep. So if someone says to me like, is this shampoo the best? I might go, it's all right, but this one's really good. So we have got ones that I will recommend. So I'm an advocate for a lot of the stuff. The Duology, I love it all. Things like the Bond Repair, I can honestly say it's one of the best things. The Bond Repair Night Serum is one of the best things I've ever used on my hair, and I use so many professional brands, and it gave the best, like, oh my god, like my hair feels amazing. It was the best results that I've ever had off a product. Things like the Silver Mask. So we've got a silver shampoo. It's all right. The silver shampoo is all right. As a shampoo, it's all right. The Silver Mask is amazing. So like, I'm like, if you're going to do it, use the mask with it as well, because the two together, it's one of the best toners that you'll use. It doesn't give the same build-up as other silver shampoos. So there's things like that. Our oils, you know, we've got some really good hair oils. We did used to do hairspray and mousse, but we don't do them anymore. But there's things that I've always used, but I am selective, so I don't use everything. But there are things that I'm like, no. I'm the same with my daughter. So she does use all the like MAC and things like that when it comes to the makeup. She uses them, but she has a lot of the Oriflame stuff as well. So she loves a lot of our foundations. She loves a lot of our mascaras, the lipsticks. She has her own eyeshadow palettes that she prefers to use. She has her own, some things she prefers, but she is honest with it. And I think that's the key. We don't have to lie and say that this is the best. We sell that much stuff, but we have got some really, really good stuff that we can compete with professionals on.
Yeah, I've actually seen it. I think it was about 5-6 months ago. Actually, the Oriflame stuff, the makeup was being used at Cannes Film Festival, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're probably not going to use bad stuff, are they? They're going to use get the good stuff out. But you know, I think that gives a bit of brand confidence as well. And obviously, I'm speaking like I know what I'm talking about here. I've got literally no idea. But what I have noticed in our bedroom, and I am in the Studio One in the bedroom, you can see the collagen.
Oh yeah,
marketed there. But what I noticed is over the time, so Santa was a bit of a brand snob, right? And she loved all the expensive stuff. Santa's just put, yes, I love the Bond Repair, but she loved all of her expensive brands and all the stuff you go, oh, it's that name, it's that price, it must be amazing. And over time, since we've joined Oriflame, I've seen the beauty table transform, and all the hair stuff transform completely to just Oriflame now, because she believes in the product, obviously, you know. And I think that goes a long way. And I think that's one of the things I've got a huge confidence in, and that's why, you know, when we've got out, you know, the people in our time trying to build up customer base, I always say to them, look, have complete confidence in what you're showing people and recommending people, because like people like yourself, professional hair care artists, you've got your daughter, professional makeup artist, you've got people going on Cannes Film Festival. This is like real stuff, isn't it? It really is.
Oh
it's,
yeah.
it's such a good way of introducing people like who are maybe in that industry already, to say, look, why don't you try and use these products yourself? Because actually, I guess, is it expensive to buy stuff from I don't know where you would get it from compared to Oriflame? How does that sort of work? Is it better?
Oh, you mean for like my hairdressing stuff and that? Yeah, our stuff's well cheaper. Well cheaper. Yeah. So even at the discount that I get from the wholesalers, our stuff is still so much cheaper. And obviously in the shops it's more expensive again. But we've got some really good quality stuff at affordable prices. We sell over 1,000 products, and I just think if you get behind a few, I always say, like, just pick a few that you like. For me, it's skincare, hair care, makeup. They're my three that I really focus on. But that doesn't mean that I don't sell perfumes, sell loads of perfumes, sell loads of shower gels, sell loads of, because it's a byproduct from those sales. But just picking your things, I always say pick 3 things that you like, and just only home in on those particular products. There's certain things that I can't gel with. There's certain makeups that I'm like, no, I don't like it on my skin, so I'm not going to promote that because I don't like it on me. And then I'll see someone else love it. So it's just about being confident in what you love and just showing that you don't need to be able to try. I've not tried everything, and I've been here 8 years and I've still not tried everything because there's that much.
Exactly. Like, I remember when me and Santa first joined, and we got a selection of bits and pieces, right? Just because, why not? And we tried the deodorant. It's so bad. The spray deodorant is crap. Honestly, if you're watching it, honestly, sorry, Oriflame, but it is crap. Like, we tried it, and honestly, it was like, I even thought at one point it was hairspray. It was so bad. Let's talk about business building, because obviously a big part of it is the building of customer base, and that's one route down there. This is why I love Oriflame, right? Is you can choose 2 directions to go in. If you just want to build a customer base and get paid on that repetition of the customers buying through commissions, there's a pathway for that through Beauty Insider. But then there's this other side. This is the side that I think a lot of people in the beginning go, I couldn't do that, because they believe whatever it may look like to them is either too hard work. They may not have the confidence. They may not have ever done anything like this. Were you that person to begin with, or did you have to grow into that, Claire?
So I knew from day one I wanted to build a team because I wanted the money. So, like I said, I wasn't coming in it for pocket money. I wasn't looking for an extra £50 a week or anything like that. I wanted the £8,000 a month that the couple sat next to me were having. So I knew I had to build a team because it was the only thing I wanted to come in for. I was like, no, I want that. So I knew we had to build a team, didn't know I was going to do it. And it was like, I'll just get stuck in. But I've never been a confident person. None of what I do now has ever come natural to me at all. I've just bit by bit learned as I've gone along. And I always remember my first team member did actually come off social media. It did actually come off Facebook, even though it wasn't really out there. I remember posting something on it, like an advertising page on Facebook, and a girl from the next town replied, and she joined me. And I remember my sponsor Andy saying to me, she's like a little chick now, you need to nurture her. I remember him saying that. He was like, you need to nurture her, you need to look after her, so just make sure she knows how to sell. So I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was just like, yeah, like, should we be friends? And I picked it up and took her to meetings and showing her things, and she never stuck around. She didn't stick around for about 2 months, something like that. But by then I got another one, and it just grows. Like, you start to develop like skills that you never knew you had. You just suddenly start to become good at things that you never knew you could. Like, speaking. I remember when I first started going along to meetings, the team I was in used to have a monthly meeting, and there was about 100 people in the room. And at the end of the meeting, they'd make you stand up and say what you got from that meeting. And I would spend the entire meeting, so it was like 4 hours long, working myself up in my head about what I was going to say, getting myself so worked up because I couldn't speak in front of people. And then it'd come to me, I'd stand up and I'd go, yeah, I liked everything, and then sit back down and then beat myself up because I looked stupid because all I said was, yeah, I liked everything. Like, I couldn't speak in front of people. And I've spoke on stages all around the world with Oriflame, and I do so much trainings and things like that with the teams, and I don't know where any of it come from. It just bit by bit come out of me as we started to grow.
You would never know, Claire, because you're so, like, I only know you from, I've known you for what, just over a year now. And you would think, like, speaking to you and seeing you on stage and presenting and this and that, you would think that's something you were born with. But I guess what you're saying there is it's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to, get things wrong in the beginning, because how else learn? Right, you've got to get these things wrong. So it's really inspiring to hear that you were like that. And I guess there's probably a lot of people, either watching this, just started off in maybe in network marketing, or particularly in Oriflame, or maybe that you're just on the fringes of asking maybe Claire or me and Santa or whoever it may be that you're watching this has been invited to, where you're thinking, oh, could I do this? What would your advice be to them?
Oh, absolutely give it a try, because I think if you just look at the bigger picture of what you can achieve, I mean, all I wanted was to earn more money, just to get out. I'll tell you what I wanted. My main goal. I did have 2 salons, and I was good with where I was at, but I worked long hours, so I was constantly in work, and I couldn't enjoy any money that I was making. That business owned me. Everyone else had to be paid first. I had the stress. I'm not a good boss, so I didn't like telling people off and things like that, and it become really tough. Whereas this industry, it took all that away. I don't have any stress of paperwork as regards to business. Oriflame do all that. They sort out the products. They do everything. But it's not just about what I do. Like this week, we've had a great week 1 in the catalogue. We're in catalogue 2. We've had a great week 1. Me personally, I've had one of my best personal sales. I've sold like £800 worth of stuff, pretty much all collagen in week 1, flying. But my team has done £80,000 in week 1. Now, I couldn't do that on my bloody own. This catalogue, this week, my team has done £80,000 worth of sales.
If you're watching this, darling, we need to pull our socks up.
But it just shows I can't do that. I can't do £80,000 all on my own. But that's how much my team has done in week 1. I've done £800 of it. The rest has come from everybody else. And that's the secret to this. It's not about what you can do. Yeah. It's about how many people you introduce that also do it, that you get a cut of it all. And that's why, for me, the team building side, everyone should do. But at the same time, I'm not pushy. If people want to join me and they just want to sell, I'm happy for that. We get great commissions off sales. We get weekly pay off our sales, and all of that is great. But if you really want an income that you can walk away, for me, the last 2 years have been really tough with my health. I've had breast cancer, I've had my bloody bowel burst, I've had surgeries, having stoma bags, I've had in reverse, I've had hysterectomy. I've had so much going on in my life in the last 2 years. And if I was just a hairdresser still, I don't know what I would have done, because I couldn't physically work. Whereas I've not had to worry. I could stay in bed and rest and do what I need to do. And the money kept on coming in because of the team that I've spent the years building up. It's so worth it.
Wow. Yeah. Are you okay to talk about a little bit about that, Claire, about that situation? If it's sensitive, then obviously we don't have to. But
no,
important point. When you have that linear wage, like you're self-employed, right, in the salons. Let's just say that that there's network marketing days never came for you, right? You didn't know what it was. You hadn't thrown all of Chris's and magazine catalogs in the bin and binned his customer orders. So if you are waiting for a delivery from 12 years ago, whatever it was, then sorry, you're not going to get it. But imagine that never happened. And this situation with your health that's happened in the last 3 years, would you say 3-4 years?
Last 2.5 years, yeah.
2.5 years. What would have happened to your income business?
I would have had none. It was the same with COVID. With COVID, I couldn't work, couldn't go to work, and you're self-employed, and I don't know how people got through that either, and people get through illnesses. I remember someone saying to me quite early on in my journey, don't wait till you're 30 to dig your well. And I didn't quite understand what they meant. And then I started to get it. And now I'm I am so glad that I dug my well before I needed it. Because when I was first told I had breast cancer, and it was you've got to go and have surgery, and I couldn't lift my arms up to do my own hair, never mind anybody else's hair. So I had to take a lot of time off. And all my customers were great, and everyone was don't worry, we'll wait till you come back and things like that. But I couldn't physically go to work, and so I couldn't get paid. And then literally last year, my bowel burst completely out the blue. And at least with the breast cancer, I was prepared. The surgery was planned. I could do my customers' hair up until they went in. I could plan it all. With this, I couldn't. I was literally overnight, got took into hospital and was having major bowel surgery and a stoma bag fitted, and couldn't walk, couldn't move. I was in so much pain, all of this. And again, Oriflame had my back. It was there for me. I didn't have to worry. The team was there. Everyone stepped up. But then when I was feeling better, I could work from my phone in my bed. I was laying in bed, watching the telly, getting myself better, talking to my team, selling stuff on my stories, bringing in extra money that way to keep me going. I couldn't have physically have gone to work, and I wouldn't have self-employed, wouldn't have had any income. I don't have a sick pay job or anything like that.
Wow, Claire, honestly, you are a warrior. Like, if nothing else, you are an absolute warrior, because you know what? It's just so inspiring to hear you. Like, obviously, you've gone through none of that. No one expects that stuff to come in life, do they?
No,
It's
absolutely not.
And you've gone through such a turbulent few years. But like you're saying, if you hadn't had that, you would have been in so many problems. It would have affected not just your business, your family, everything, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It will. I remember reading a book years ago, and it was a guy was saying that he'd had a heart attack, and when he was in the ward with all these men that had heart attacks, he said there was men there trying to take the ECGs off, saying, I've got to get to work, I've got to pay my mortgage and all this. And he was like, I'm so glad I've got my residual income coming in. And it was things like that. That's what I wanted when I joined. I wanted the residual income. I am a hard worker, and I was prepared to. And I said at the beginning, I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning making this work, staying up late, and I've done that for years. And now I'm at a point where, like, I'm still, I don't think I'll ever stop working, but I can have a bit more of a calmer pace life than I did before. But I will put the graft in, I will work. But it was just the thought of having in the future the time to be able to go, you know what, I can sit back now, and all that work that I've done hasn't been for nothing. It's still going to carry on paying me. And I couldn't say that with me hairdressing.
Yeah, honestly, Claire, I'm blown away by what you've just told me, this story. It's like, and there's probably loads of people watching this or going through, maybe similar stuff, and they've also got an opportunity to do it as well, And I think I just love about it, you don't have to be anybody special,
no,
but you can start something special at any point in time. You just have to go with it, don't you? And just give things a go. And I think that's so important. There was one other thing that I sort of wanted to touch about. Like, obviously you're doing this, and you started off because you wanted to, you didn't want to have pocket money, you said, but you wanted to have an income like those people that were sat next to you. You've done so well. What's next? Where do you see yourself with this business? Because now you're still working the salon, right?
Well, I do mobile. So I do mobile hairdressing a couple of days a week now. I gave up the salon. Oh God, it was a couple of years into me business, and mainly because I wanted more flexibility. I felt like I was stuck at the shop. Like if it was quiet, I was still stuck there, like hanging around. Whereas if I was mobile, I was more flexible. I could work pockets of times better with the kids and things like that. So I do mobile hairdressing. And I always will, I think. I don't think I'll ever give that up, because it's something I enjoy doing. It gets me out the house as well, and I like that. I don't think I'd like being stuck at home all the time. So I think I'll always do at least one day a week. I'll continue to do some hairdressing, but I do still have a way to go with Oriflame. There's so much more that I want to do. I want to be able to get to at least executive level soon. I want to get to executive levels, and I want to get to them. One of my big goals is I want to take my kids on a trip. So, like, when you get to executive, you get 4 tickets. So obviously now I get 2 tickets, and I can take Chris. Me and Chris get to go on gold conferences and things. But I want 4 tickets. I want to be able to take my kids. I've got 3 kids, so I can take 2 of them. I don't know whether they'll let me pay for 1, but you get 4 tickets when you get to that level. And that's for me a really big goal that I want. I want my kids to come, and not just because I can take them on holiday. I do take my kids on holiday and stuff, but I want them to experience a gold conference. I want them to come and experience, because they're unreal, and to see us, up on stage as well, and be a part of that life that we also, live. I want to do all of that. So that's a big goal for me. And obviously I'd like to get to president as well. I've told Sophia I'll have a yacht instead of a Ferrari. That's what I want when I get there.
Requested already.
Yeah, when we were in Abu Dhabi and Craig got his Ferrari, that's when we said, I said, well, when I'm president, Sophia, I don't want a Ferrari because I've drove around in Craig's now, so I'll have a yacht, please.
Honestly, just promise me one thing, right? When you get to the very, very top, that you're still on the tables giving it like big licks like that.
I'll always be the same. I can't change, because
I know. And
It's
that's the
just who
thing.
I am. It's just who I am. And especially when you give me a glass of wine, I'm becoming to a different person.
The thing is, I know that is the case. I know it's who you are. I'm going to read a couple of comments out, and I know we're going to end it in a couple of moments. But before we do, there's a couple. One of your biggest cheerleaders in the world, Mr. White. He says yes, 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 yes. He said at the very top, boom, 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 like lots of rocket emojis. Santa says love you so much, Claire. Perry says what a cool setup. Everybody's putting love hearts in, throwing the love your way. You've got Inata says wow, the numbers. So like, literally I think what you've done is made a huge impact and shown the value of trying to just starting something and giving it your all, and I think everybody can say that everybody's busy, but you have to make time to do something if you want the results at the end. Okay, it's like this, the parable of the sower of the seed, isn't it? You want to reap the harvest later, you have to put the seeds in the ground now, isn't it?
Gotta find the time. Yeah, we've all got the same 24 hours. Just get up earlier. Go bed later.
Exactly. Honestly, it's been such a pleasure chatting to you because obviously we've known each other for about a year, but we dip in and out of events and stuff like that. But I really love the fact that even though we're not in the same teams or anything like that, or Shelley or Lisa or anything like that, we chat like this all, to each other, and we talk about the business and the stuff. And I just absolutely love that collaborative approach. I think that's I'm going to say it's that Oriflame family type style.
Yeah, special place.
I'm here for it. Like, genuinely, I'm here for it. I love that feeling. And I think what you've done really well is, if somebody is watching this, I think what you've done for them is maybe inspired them to take that next step, to get in touch with whoever that, has sponsored them, to say, do you know what? I'm ready to hit the button. I've been thinking about it for a while. I heard from Claire. I want that story. I want that yacht dream. I want that Ferrari story. I want to be on the tables, when I'm executive. And I think it is achievable, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It really is.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. Listen, Claire, I'm going to shoot off in a minute. I can hear my dogs just walked in. Look, on cue, Max has just walked in there. So I'm going to there he is.
Mine's there as well. He's like spread across the bed.
He's my bulldog from Timo. He's useless, but I love him. Listen, Claire, thank you so much for joining us on this last
Thanks for having me.
I've loved the story. It's been fantastic. I'm sure whoever's watching this on replay will also enjoy it. But listen, huge love to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
See you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.